So this module is all about completion controls and other Schoology features that are unique to HyC courses that you probably wouldn't see in any other course that you take. So one of the first things you're going to see when you log into the HyC chemistry course in Schoology are these little checkboxes, and they say must complete, and they're kind of at the end of each folder, and they're actually also inside each subfolder. What these are completion controls. I'm actually circling them for you. And when you've completed a folder or you've completed an assignment, they turn green to let you know that that assignment has actually been completed. What completion controls do is they force you to take the course in a specific order. In other words, you can't do the second activity until the first activity is completed in a satisfactory way. And we'll talk about some different completion controls and what they force you to do in a second. This is an example of what lurks inside the course information folder for HyC Chemistry, and I've actually put the completion controls on here. On these completion controls, what I've asked you to do is I've asked you to view and look at each of these items. You've actually probably already done this since this was before Unit 0. But if you notice, each time there's a little checkbox, it looks right here, it says viewed the item. I'm actually moving that around. But I'll show you where it is. So it's right here, it says view the item. Once you click on the link, the item turns green because you viewed that item, and then you can go to the next item. So for example, on this page, you can't view the conversion chart until you view the syllabus and the course expectations and so forth. There are different completion controls that I can put within the course. So for example, not everything is something that has to be viewed. Sometimes you might have to make a submission, sometimes you might have to score a certain score on a test or quiz, or sometimes you might just have to post a reply or a comment saying that you've completed the assignment. The completion controls really are determined by what that item is in the course, but know that each one requires you to do something special in order to move on to the next item. So this is an example from a HyC biology course from another student. I copied and pasted a screenshot right out of their course. Notice that this student has completed this folder, had to do so in order, and if you notice, they're not all the same. So for example, they were required to view an Edpuzzle video on DNA structure and function, and then submit a little quiz saying they completed it, view some notes, and then submit another quiz, and then submit an assignment, and so on and so forth. Once again, the items turn green when you submit them, and allows you to go on to the next assignment. One of the great things about putting completion controls on is it also allows me to track your progress in the course. So this is once again an example from a HyC biology course where there were students involved. One student is already 15% of the way through the course. That means they've done 15% of the things that have been put in completion controls. And another student just started and is at 1%. Sometimes what happens though is you've completed all the assignments up to a point and you get stuck. Schoology has these weird things where sometimes you can't go to the next assignment. If that happens, send me a quick email, because what I can do is I can hit this button that says recheck student progress, which is located right here. And when I hit that button, it resets itself and allows you to move on to the next assignment. So if you ever get completely stuck, just send me a quick email. I'll hit the button. It takes about a minute, and then you're good to go again. But wanted to give you a heads up. I also use this tool to communicate with counselors, administrators, and even your parents when they ask me, how is my child doing in HyC chemistry? I can say, well, they're only about 15% of the way through the course, when really you should be about 60 or 70% of the way through the course. It's often what I tell a parent. So this is really, really good for keeping track of your progress through the course. In addition to completion controls, one other unusual feature of HyC courses, and you're going to start using this actually in more courses as you go into standards-based grading, but one of the unique features is instead of using PowerSchool for your gradebook, HyC courses use Schoology for your gradebook. So I'm going to show you where to look to see your progress in the course. This is what your Schoology page will look like for the course. If you look on the left side under the course logo and materials and updates, there are two buttons that you're going to want to check on to see how you're doing in the course. The first is the button that says grades, and the second is the button that says mastery. Both of these are the gradebook for the course, although the mastery button is actually a little bit more important than the grade button, and we'll talk about each. So this is a sample of what you will see if you click on the grades button. What this is going to be a list of your formative assessments or approach to learning skills, and it basically will tell you I got 1 out of 1 on this assignment, I completed this assignment, this is my score on the rubric, and so on and so forth. This is the gradebook, and it really tells you how you do on each individual assignment and your progress in the course. This gradebook, however, is not used to determine your final grade or your semester grade in the course. Once there are assignments in, this is what the mastery gradebook is going to look like. And this is what is used to determine your final grade. So in chemistry, as you saw in the syllabus, there are A, B, C, and D criterion. Criterion A is your content knowledge, B is lab design, basically, C is analysis of data, and D is reflections on the impact of chemistry in the real world. And there'll be assignments in each of them. And what you'll see is you'll see a score and a bunch of kind of bar graphs about each criterion and how you performed over time within each criterion. It's up to me, based on your performance over time, to make a holistic determination on a level of 0 through 8 where you are in each criterion. And then you'll get a score from 0 to 8 for each criterion. Those scores are then used, added together, to come up with a total score out of 32, which is converted using the conversion chart in the course expectations as to your class grade. So your best bet to kind of track where you are is to go through the Mastery Gradebook, see how you're progressing over time, and saying, am I getting a lot of 3s and 4s, which would equate relatively to a C, or am I getting more of those 5, 6s, 7, and 8s, which are A, B grades? So your best bet to see where you are is to go into the Mastery Gradebook, determine where you are, and see how you can improve in each of those 4 criterion. So at this point, hopefully you've learned a little bit more about completion controls, as well as how to find your grades, where they are in the course. And once we take your Schoology grades, we actually do put them in PowerSchool to store them. But right now, if you feel good about completion controls and you know where to find your grades, you're in good shape. As always, if you have any questions, please send me an email or come see me in the HyC room.